Okay, guys, this is Elliot Wave Sage. I want to go ahead and do a live stream. I haven't done one in a while. I thought this is a good time to have one as we're coming into the final swings of this correction, this bear market rally. I know a lot of people are super mad today. They're so angry. A lot of people are so mad. The market isn't going down. The market is just so bullish. Well, really, it's just a few stocks that are really bullish, and on top of that, you just really have one stock that is playing out a flat pattern and expanded flat. So, expanded flat patterns is bound to happen. If you take the 10 largest stocks in this bear market, not everything is going to be a zigzag correction, guys. There are going to be flat corrections. There are going to be expanded flats happening, and that's what NVIDIA is doing, and it is going to trap a ton of FOMO buyers. I mean, the smart traders like Bob Lucas was selling today, taking away his stack, his long-term stack. He dumped it on you guys, you guys that are buying and FOMO, and you just became liquidity, exit liquidity for the strongest hands. That's who's selling today. Only the amateurs are buying. And of course, if you gambled, you got lucky. Now, I did mention that NVIDIA was set up for a flat pattern about a few weeks ago in a video, even though it was in a bearish wedge that broke bullish. I said not to short that and to stay away from it. And I also said AMD looked like it had bottomed, right? And again, so I'm trying to give you both sides, but look at the indices, the breadth underneath the market. It's super weak, and this market will make new lows. I know it's hard to believe, and so if this shook you up, if this is yeah, I can't handle this, well then you got to maybe think trading isn't for you, because this is nothing. Crypto moves 30%. Like no big deal. Okay, so a big cap move 30%. Is that going to am I going to throw away my strategy and playbook just because one stock pumped? Hell no. So this is a total just farce, and it is why I always had said, head shorts, but I wasn't shorted until 425. Right? We're not there. We're not at 425. This is where I will short if we even get there. So what is the SPY going to do? Well, I mean, if you look at where we are, it looks like it's going to do a correction back down to 400. I still think this is coming down to 400, and down in this area right here. So maybe it won't go as low, but somewhere around 402, 398. This is where I think it's heading. Somewhere in this area, and then this is going to be B. And guess what? It's going to probably bounce. Oh my God, it's going to bounce. I should unsubscribe because he's bearish. No, guys, this market is going to destroy bulls and bears. That's what's going to happen. So, yes, I think the market will bounce here. And I think the dollar will go to new lows here. And I think crypto could pump. And I think gold and silver will pump. And I think technology could even go up in a counter trend rally. But I do think technology is close to ending. Look, we have five. Look, 5. Right? This is exactly what I've shown the last 4 days to play out. Exactly. The 4, and here's the 5. And look, oh my gosh, bearish divergence. Bearish divergence on the 4-hour and on the daily, the 45-minute, the 15-minute. What do you think's about to happen, guys? Rug pull. This technology move. If you are in technology long right now, I will come to your funeral later. You should be selling. You should be taking profit if you are brave enough to weather this this choppiness. Because this is coming to an end. 344. We're almost there in my short area. Extreme 350s. But I think I lowered my target based on my analysis to 344. I think we'll get there tomorrow. The futures look like it needs a little more upside. So yeah, I think we're going to get there. And as long as the divergence maintains, this is it. This is the end game for technology. And it could be a major top And so even though the SPY might bounce, it may be the cyclicals that bounce here and commodities, and technology could still dump. So I don't know how the market's going to trade, but I just shown you what I'm seeing in the chart. And then IWM doesn't look good. I mean, this too looks more and more like it's in. And if we can break this low, then it's all she wrote, man, for the Russell. And then watch out financials. Um, this is why I'm just kind of laughing to myself about the mentality of the day trader today, and like why they're so angry, but really nothing's changed. Just, yeah, one stock pumped, but it wasn't really that big of a surprise. I saw the flat potential, and it happened. Now it's expanded flat. I believe it will fail and go back down, and go all the way back down. So I think, but hey, man, it was fun if you YOLO'd into that trade, and a lot of people did. So good to them, good for them. So then Bitcoin. I'm still looking for lower prices until the crypto stocks get to their lows. This will just grind lower, and then I think the dollar will go higher, which is why the Hang Seng is still going lower. Broke the low, should go down to 17,000, and then that will be KWeb lower, all the China shit lower. So nothing in China looks good to me right now until this is down here. The dollar looks like it will go higher, and crypto's going to go lower. And so what does that tell me? Well, maybe gold and silver got more downside coming, whether I wanted to or not. But it doesn't have to, because we saw the dollar trade erratically and gold went up. So I don't know how I can't correlate it, but I'll look at the chart of gold, and I'm looking again. I mean, it looks like 5 waves down here now, and you could force this expanded flat. This is 3 waves here. This really isn't 5. So I'll force that for now. So somewhere in here we should be getting a bounce in gold, and then a bounce in silver, and another expanded flat. I mean, massive bullish divergence on the 4-hour. This is about to bounce. So whether, again, you're bearish or not, it will bounce. Now, it may fail. It may fail, but this will have a bounce coming. There's a bounce coming in the metals. You just got to be patient with it. Unless the divergence is erased, and we'll probably know in the next couple trading days. If it were to erase, then this 4 is just a shallow connector, and then you'll have it tagged 2120, and I'll be loading the boat down here massively if this happens. And this would be just, again, the market blowing up dumb money to FOMO in silver and gold at the top here. And gold could do the same thing. This could be a connector too, and if it is and the divergence is erased, then we're looking for the low 1800s in gold. And the miners will fall with it. So you don't know. It's a tough trade. It's a risk, right? But you got to risk it to get the reward, and so do what's best for you. Here, oil. Looks like this too is in. If that's the case, that there is some dark times coming for the cyclicals. I mean, in the energy complex. So if that's in place, a lot of problems lie ahead of us. And then the bond market is actually really weak. So we're still in this too. But like I said, if we break this downtrend line, then the 4 is in, and then we're in wave 5. And we'll go to new highs, 5% on the 10-year. The 2-year is still in the sell area, so I wouldn't really worry. And then this way it bottomed. I think even if it could become another flat. We'll have to wait and see what happens here in this 2-year. The 1-year is already breaking out. It looks like it's about to break to new all-time highs in this cycle since 2020, which will really open up the door for much higher rates on the 1-year. So I think inflation trade is about to get real, or government instability trade is about to get real. Government default. I mean that takes you up to 9% on the 1-year. So if the 1-year bond is at 9%, do you think anyone is going to own stocks? Do you think anyone will buy stocks if the 1-year goes to 8-9%? Fuck, no one is. No one's going to buy stocks. The stock market is going to crash, guys, if this plays out like I'm showing here, and it's playing out right before your eyes. I mean, look at what's going on. No one's paying attention to this. Look at this. This is something you need to pay attention to. if this thing keeps surging. So keep an eye on that. The dollar index, again, I have it in just pumping out an impulse. We should get this pullback, which should be, some relief rally in the metals and cyclical commodity. But again, it's not the gold and silver has been kind of trading in its own world, honestly, outside of the way the dollar's been trading. So then we'll see how this plays out in the dollar. So that's the market. That's it's an urgent update because a lot of people are gonna get confused here in how to navigate this market. So this is kind of the Dow, by the way. I didn't give this something like this. Um, Maybe like that coming, and then a nice healthy bounce, right? And then a massive crash, right? And that's kind of what I see in the SPY. Like, we have this drop, a nice healthy bounce, and a massive crash. But I think technology is just going to start to crash and may have a counter trend rally and then do its wave three. So that's kind of how I see the sequences playing out. So I do see the baton being passed from technology to cyclicals soon. That would be the XMEs, the metals and miners, and XLP, the staples, and maybe even healthcare. That's what I'm seeing in this bounce coming up, and that may be what drives the SPY up here, coming, and then this is like a meltdown for everything. This will be our first real risk off across the board. Nowhere to hide but cash type trade. Possibly gold. We'll wait and see what happens with gold later, but we don't know yet. All right, so I'll go to your questions and see what you guys have and start there. GDXU, I'm actually long GDXU, but that doesn't mean nothing. I can be wrong, so do what's best for you. And I'm just going to be patient and hold it for longer holds. It's in a buy area. It's if we look at the stochastics again on the 4-hour, it's completely been wiped out. Massive capitulation. The shorter cycles, we're not. I don't think we're seeing the bullish turn yet on it. Maybe we are in the 15-minute. You see, we're seeing the turn. I do want to see. You could see a bounce and a low to get the divergence on the 45. So I think that's what I would look for here is something like a bounce and a lower low. So like something like a bounce and a low. Like you get this bounce to pull the 45 up. Then you make a lower low in price, and then you have that bullish divergence here, and then that should finish the sequence. But honestly, it can be done at any moment, and go to new highs if it wants. So I think to me GDXU is a buy here. We do have 5 up off this major low, and then we made a higher high here. Okay, so what does that tell me? It tells me we should definitely go higher. So if we look here, we have this sequence here. Now we have 5. We did tag 7. Let's see, 70.91 exactly. So we finished the 3-swing sequence up here off the low. Okay, so that now we're going to have another 3 swings here. So we're correcting actually in GDXU this entire move, this entire cycle. I'd like to see one more bounce higher before then. I would probably not be interested in it. So let's just say it could go to 90, maybe $80, somewhere around there. But it looks close. The other possibility is it does something like this. So be careful with that. And then later it goes up like that. Something like that. So again, we don't know the future. I just think this is an area it should start to bounce, and then I'll decide what to do. All right, let's go to ENVX. ENVX, that's a new one for us, not on the list. Always like to go to the bigger time frames. Not a lot of information about it. So right away you see you have three swings, but you have a lower low. So it looks like to me it's got more downside coming. I don't really have to spend a lot of time on this. And you see it goes into negative territory. So then the other alternative is it some kind of flat here where there's A, B, C. But again, you made a lower low. So it's a very bearish sequence stock at the moment, which means I would avoid buying it. You do have five up here, some kind of connector, five down, five down. So to me, it looks like you've got, again, some kind of A, B, C here. Uh, but with the divergent, it doesn't look like that's a good low. So I would say it's got a whole nother sequence lower. Now it could still bounce here, and it more than likely will do this. I think here to this area, and then you may want to short in this area 18 to 23. This is a short area for another swing lower. In if it can even survive it, because there's not much more room left to go. So again, I don't know what it does, why it's so bearish, but the chart tells me short it, stay away, don't buy it. So do what's best for you. Good luck on this one. TMF, I know I was thinking of doing that TMF, but I it's just kind of still dicey. I actually would rather the support go with the longer term trend, which is bonds rates going higher, and stay on the side of the longer term trend in case I'm wrong, right? So the bond market, and I haven't really looked at these. Let me find the ETFs here. Yeah, I'd rather be in TBD because I look at this bond market. You clearly are going to get a whole nother swing higher. I think it's a very strong likelihood this impulse up needs another swing higher. So at some point, I think if you're going to get another, so I'd rather be on the side of that trade than trying to play the counter trend move. But although it does look like it needs more downside, so that would be more upside in TMF. So by my system, I would like to see more upside in TMF before it goes lower. The pattern appears to be some kind of three, some kind of consolidation wave, call it a X wave, B wave, whatever you want to call it, connector that should end, and then you get that. That's kind of what I'm calling for in bond market. So that'll get you to like $11, 11.36. So it's like gambling, For me, it's like gambling, but maybe the odds are a little bit in your favor here. But the long-term trend is going to keep pulling this lower and pulling TBT higher because of the impulse off the bottom. So so I don't know. I think you're just going to have to, speculation trade here. Good luck with that. Yeah, it's been a while for my live stream. Yeah, Carvana, I was looking at that the other day. I thought I saw it bouncing more again. Let me find where I have it in requested stocks. Where is that? There it is. Okay, so we've looked at this in our last live stream, right? And it really played out like we thought, right? You said to buy here. Now it went a little lower, but we did get that pump in Y, and now it's struggling. All right, it's struggling. Now I did say we're in a bigger Y here, so now we're in a connector. So yeah, speculation-wise, this looks like counter trend, so it looks like it needs another low. Here one, two, three, four, five swings. So again, if you want to really speculate in Caravana, you would be looking to buy it now here in this area, 962 to 756 for a massive short squeeze higher that will play this Y out. That will finish this sequence, which then should ultimately either confirm the low or then go to zero and it meets its demise finally. So I do think, something like this, right? So good luck if you're trying to play it. Maybe if I'm bored, and it happens to be down here one day when I'm staring at it, I'll buy it just for the hell of it. But I'm not really that, interested. It could very well still be even in X and come back down and then break this low, and then that would pretty much be game over. So it's very speculative, very speculative. I would be like, where's the Russell trading when this happens? Where's Tech? Where's Russell? Where's the market overall? So yeah, QQQ has got it's got more upside, right? It's got more upside. You know, I could be off by one swing here somewhere, so maybe that's three, right? I think that's why you can't be precise, that precise, but it just seems like the move is pretty much over. And if you watched my update earlier, I showed you it's got bearish divergence on almost every time frame. I think it was daily for. So I mean, this thing is almost done. I mean, any moment, any second, the rug pulls come in, and I do believe it'll be like one massive candle down to 312 to start us off, just to get things going. So if you're up here, you're gonna get trapped, or you're gonna get blown up. So a lot of people FOMO'd into tech today, thinking the bottom's in, and I don't blame you, but it was really just one stock, right, guys? It's Nvidia, right? But Nvidia's just doing a flat. And flats are going to happen, right? You figure, like you say, you got all these mega cap stocks out there. One of them's going to do a flat, right? One of them, not everything is going to be a freaking zigzag correction. It's just expected. So, okay, so one did a flat. Oh my gosh, it's like it's a whole new bull market. Oh my gosh. No, it's just a flat. And it has a fractal that does it. I shared on my chart, on my Twitter, that someone found out it has a fractal of doing this expanded flat in a bear market rally, which it did in the bubble in 2001. It did the same thing, and then it crashed and lost it all. So, I mean, whatever. I mean, it's just the nature of that stock. It tends to have huge swings, like up, and that's the semiconductors, but they come down just as fast in a recession. Costco, yeah. How did the earnings go? I didn't pay attention to earnings. Someone posted how their earnings went. Maybe I could find out on here. I was really interested to see how that triangle was going to break out. If that's right, 484 Thursday. Oh man, a big miss. I thought it would be lower. Maybe it is lower. It's just this isn't right. But yeah, I mean, this looks like it broke down lower. I mean, if you look, it looks like it already showed its hand today. I mean, it already broke down lower. So if it broke down lower, I don't know what it traded after hours, if this is accurate, but it probably more than likely did. I would say we're looking for 320, 340 down this area. Ideally, it could hit the long-term trend line. This is the long-term downtrend line of the historic low, 254, but it's too popular. This stock is like one of those CNBC. They love it so much, and it's like worshipped by every institution out there. And I mean, even 401k, but hey, I shop at Costco. I'll buy Costco, and but the valuation is like way out of hand here. The PE ratio, I think, is just way too high. I mean, but it does look like the move's over. I mean, this is a massive trend line from here that broke. So this is going down. Now, I think that's what it looks like to me. Now, if it broke higher, then this is just a massive four wave. Make one more high, and then that's it. But I think it looks like it broke lower. Lab up. Lab Up likes to trade with the Russell. I think the Russell's going lower, but there's that counter trend rally potential. So let's take a look at it, and see. I wouldn't fall in love with any triple bull ETFs, um, outside of maybe gold and silver and like short bonds. Maybe I mean, I don't know even if gold and silver are going to survive what may be about to happen. But let's see, lab up. From a technical standpoint, as long as this low holds, it's bullish. It does, it looks like three up here, three up, three down. So really it needs to hold this 432 level. And look, it looks like it's five up here, right? Off that low. Five up. That doesn't mean anything, but what it does mean to me is there's risk of it making one more swing higher to finish the sequence. So, that looks like three. Let's look at some of the RSI indicators. The daily cycle's over on this. The weekly has been it's not a good time to buy it. I mean, I would be careful, hoping to long this. I wouldn't long it. Personally, I would stay away from it because this could be a flat where W is here and that's X and Y, where this is like it fools you. This fools a lot of like Elliott wave people there. See, and now you get an impulse up, and now you still get a corrective structure down. And then this, from a pattern, looks like a descendant triangle, kind of, right? And those are bearish continuation patterns, right? That. So I don't like trading it long. So I guess lab down is the trade, right? Lab down. Lab down. Was up big today. Now made a new low here. Let's see where its Fibonacci projected target would be. All right, so $9, but we're counter trending up. So maybe lab down does something like this, where we where it negates this descending triangle, and maybe we do something more like a move down and then up like that, and this is what's about to play out. Something like this, and then you get something like this later. So I think it has more downside coming. So that's three down here. All right, yeah. So I think I would be looking for like 561, 536 as the bottom, somewhere like here. There you go. To try to play it, it's very speculative. I'm sure no one will be. Maybe this is a trade here, or maybe I'll find some stocks in LabU and play it through the stocks and not through this. But this is what I'm thinking. And then the stop loss is probably got to be 427. So somewhere in here, and then you get this C leg. So we'll see. Speculative. Something to keep an eye on, I guess. It may work out. We really need it to start to drop now. If it forms a new connector, then this is negated. This won't work. Short Meta. Yeah, I mean, I don't short the tech stocks until the Qs are in my until the Qs are in my sell area, 344. I don't even look for the short trades in the individual stocks or any of the other stuff. It's just like a rule I have. I mean, I could be wrong. Like obviously, something's got to lead the market lower before the indices reverse. So I mean, maybe Meta will be that stock for you. I mean, again, it looks like it's on fumes. I mean, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? I mean, well, let's look at the divergences and see if we have them. you know. Okay, so you don't hear. You see that divergence was erased. So that's interesting on the 45 minute. So I would put the 1 here and the 2 here. And it's going to be an extended fifth. This is why it's hard to time these. But I'm thinking now this more than likely is another 1-2, or it could be a flat in the making. So it could do something like this, or it's already in 2 and it's coming down, or the other option is we actually topped here and we're in an expanded. We're already in the correction and no one realizes it yet, like that. Which if you short it, you're going to be like a home run. Like, and the reason we're like, well, that looks like 5 waves, but the RSI negated that impulse. It's really a 3-wave corrective move. It's just the swings aren't obvious. We can label it later. I'll label it later if you want me to. That's so it's so. I think you got to be. It's tough to. I wouldn't lean toward the expanded flat like I just showed. It's possible. I would lean. The safest count is probably this. And I don't think. You know. Maybe it could be a end in diagonal. So I don't know, something like that. But hope it works out. I mean, maybe if you're patient enough, event. But I mean, again, is it going to do an NVIDIA? It doesn't have a catalyst that I can see other than a gap fill here. See this gap? It may want to just fill this gap and finish this extended fifth as it fills its gap. I mean, I don't know. But anyway, HRL. Let's take a look at that. Hormel Foods. Staples. I am in Staples, but it's got to be, you got to be patient with it. Okay, so bigger picture. You really need this low to hold 37.85, right? Because you have 3. If you break that low, then you have an impulse from the bottom, but then it could still be a flat. So it doesn't really tell me anything. But this looks like 5 up for me here, so that would negate the flat. And there's see if there's divergence at this peak, and there is. So there's no flat here. So it's an interesting chart. Maybe it's correct in the grand super cycle here from the all-time IPO. We have to go to the quarterly. It's been around. Yeah, see that? It's correct in the grand super cycle. You see that break? I would definitely not buy it. It's in a massive bear market now, and that's what this chart is telling me. So it topped out. It's either in its first 5 down, like right now, this first 5 down, where this will bounce and fail, or it's in a very shallow connector crash formation there, and it comes down. If it's this, I'll give you a target. So let's say we get a crash again. I'm not predicting. Maybe we crash. I don't know. Government default. It'd be 24.23. That would be a massive drop, but that's the ultimate. I mean, if this low breaks, I mean, this is a connector. I mean, I don't know. I mean, it can happen, but I don't think so. I think I'd rather label it, given what the other staples are doing, like this, something like that. It kind of makes sense, so something like that. So maybe there's a bounce coming at 36.98, 35.65 right in here, right there. We'll see what happens. Let's see. I'm at on. Let's see. 35 minutes. Okay. Um, Shanarian energy target. I don't know if I've got that anywhere. I don't even know the symbol. Let me see. CH. Oh, LNG. Okay. Um, yeah, it's got to be good. All the natural gas stuff's getting close to the bottom, but not quite there yet. Last I looked, let me see if I can find it in here. Yeah, so there it is. So yeah, not there, making its way. Be a good buy. I like this pattern. 121 to this area, but again, it may not be exact, but 121, 109, maybe even 91. And if it's a wave four, which it looks like it is, usually retraces to the 618. That'd be 125. So yeah, 120, 125, 121 would be a perfect area to buy. But again, you may be buying a wave five, so it may not be like that gratifying of a bounce, but do what's best for you. I mean, it's something like this is more is possible that I have here. But like Nvidia, it could be a 1-2-1-2 and goes to the moon. We don't know. But this will be the area that it should bounce in. Let's see. Charge point. Haven't looked at that in a long time. No one's yeah. I haven't seen that one in a long time. I think it's been going down, right? I think it's been going down. Charge point. All right, my target's always been 599 for like the last 6 months. So I mean, nothing's changed. So I would look for yeah, look for 599 this area. So not quite there. We made a lower low. It's bearish. It's going lower. And of course, when you start getting down to these areas, the company it doesn't have to bounce. Like when you're correcting the whole cycle, the grand super cycle, sometimes companies don't make it. They don't survive for whatever reason. So if you're buying it, be careful buying grand super cycle, wave twos, because like it could be bankrupt and you wake up as bankrupt, and then you lose everything. So you got to really risk what you're willing to lose on something like this. But technically this, I wouldn't try to think about buying it until it got down to this $5 area. If not, I'm just ignoring it. Wire. What's wire? Let's see. Oh, okay. Well, it's up today. It's got something to do with like semiconductors. That's like interesting. It's like parabolic, straight up vertical, with bearish divergence on the monthly. So it's obviously in a wave five, man. Um, there's your wave two right here, or maybe it's a wave four. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, it's probably a wave four. So it'll be even. Uh, yeah, I mean, let's go see if there's a higher time frame we can look at. Yeah. Yeah, let's start from the beginning. This one's not as straightforward. Something like 1, 2 here. And then another 1, 2 right here. And then you get your 3 of 3. And see the RSI supports it barely. You have a higher RSI reading, so it's a 1-2-1-2. This is your 3 of 3, well, top, a 4, a 5, and yeah, it seems like it should make one more high before it's game over. Uh, let's take a look at this 4 and see how deep it went. Oops. Damn. To almost a 618. So it's a 4. So and 4s almost always go to the 618. I've noticed so many times. It doesn't have to. Crypto usually goes to the 50 back, but so yeah, I mean, against this low, it should maybe be grinding out a wave 5. It looks like. Yeah, see 3, perfect 3. No, look, no divergence. This is done here. So it's probably going higher. And then look at this smaller wave 3. So chances are this is a pivot 158. It's probably about to go into a wave 3 of 3. I mean, I don't, like I say, I'm not telling you how to trade, but it looks to me like it's about to do a breakout like that. It, any moment. Now, I mean, it could still be in 2, like an A, B, C, but it's buyable. It's a buyable dip. It's a dip buy type trade against this 138, but really you could try to long it here against 159. I mean, it's bullish, and it is should be finishing up wave 5 here, or it will erase divergence and continue to go parabolic even higher if we can get the weekly up and to take that peak out, and it could do that. I mean, what's the market cap on this thing? It's only 3 billion, so it's obviously pretty popular. I'm gonna keep an eye on that one. So good, we'll keep an eye on that, see what's going on with it, because yeah, if for some reason it drops lower, then it's just another 1-2. This will just become a 1, a 2, and so that would be a really good opportunity. But I don't think it's going to do that. I think it will stay supported here for a new high. But if it were to swing down, this is a connector, and this would be a really good buy opportunity in what this is. Let's see, ATER. I think we've done that one before, I thought. Yeah. So this was our buy area, so it kind of came out of it. Let's see here what's going on. So we broke the low with 5 up. So we're just going to have to say the 4 was a flat, and we're in 5 here now. And that's why flats are so devastating. But you would have been stopped out, and so now you're in this 5th wave with this bullish divergence. I think you'll probably have bullish divergence on every time frame. So that's a good sign. So it's going to pump soon again. The target, if I was trying to like trade it, I would look for 43. Look, the wick almost hit that. See, and this is not a coincidence. This stuff happens. See, it almost missed it by like a tenth of a penny. So chances are the bottom's already in 5 here, and it's just going to start to rally from here. It does look like 5 down. Let's look and see if the cycles are over on the larger time frames. Yeah, it's due for a counter trend rally bounce. So I'm not telling you to buy it. I mean, I could be wrong. It could go lower, but that's what I've got. So I wouldn't. Yeah, I think it's still got more downside. Looking at it, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Like it needs like another 3, 4, 5. We'll see. I don't know. I mean, that's tough. That's a tough one, but I do think it's like gonna bounce again. Coinbase. Coinbase was funny. Again, it hit the buy area when the news was like horrible going on, right? And it ricocheted off. It looks like to me He's three up here. So it's corrective bounce. What a mess. Three, three, three. I mean, man, it's a tough call. I think you just trade it with Bitcoin, and I do think it's going to go lower. So I think it still has more downside coming. I don't know how much more. Probably fill this gap. I'm guessing. Yeah, see down in this area. So I'd be looking for like 54, 52, 51. This gap fill. I'd be looking for the, but then this is a hard stop. 47. If this 47 breaks, then Coinbase is in a lot of trouble. Because then more than likely it's going to break this low. But there's no impulsive structure that I see. Maybe you could force an impulse here, but I don't think you can. So I think you got to be really careful trading it. I would say trade other things. You know, I wouldn't go long. I'm just giving you my advice. I would not buy Coinbase based on the chart I'm seeing. It looks dangerous. But I'm not an insider. I don't know anything about the company and its risks that it may be in front of it, but the chart doesn't look that good to me. Palantir, yeah, Palantir was bouncing because it's starting to get the AI sympathy bounce. So the chart, we update it. So 333 up. So again, it's just we're just in this like a counter trend bounce, if you want to call it that. A, B, C. So this area is tough because you want to see an impulse off the bottom here. So yeah, maybe a little bit higher. And then I would look on the short, like the 45 minute. You want to see some divergence like this. Look at that. Yeah, so I think somewhere in here, 14, 15 bucks, it's gonna peter out, and you'll see some massive bearish divergence play out. If not, not already. So yeah, be careful on it. Um, yeah, and that may be just B. So it could break these lows, and I actually think it will. And I think the target would be different target now. Okay, at the $4. Yeah, somewhere around $4, high $3 range. Somewhere around there. So good luck on that. TLT is like bonds. Like I think the bond market long term is going to lose money, so TLT will lose money long term. But short term, I think it's due for a bounce. It may be a really big rip higher. So you just need to trade it how you believe. But I tell you, it's tough, man, to guess. But I do think I'm looking, see from a sequence standpoint, I just don't see it finished yet. So I do think it can go higher before it's going to go lower. But it will go lower. I feel pretty confident we'll see more lows later, which would be higher rates later. But I'm looking for this risk off type thing coming. Deflation and then inflation. That's what I'm looking for. Okay, so I'm going to wrap it up here. Let me just scan the comments if there's something I can ask pretty quickly, answer. Bitcoin I talked about earlier in the stream. It'll be in there. Thanks for the Memorial Day. Yeah, I hope everyone has a good Memorial Day. The VIX bullish. The VIX will build, and we need to keep an eye on that. It was kind of stealth build into 20s. See, and that's how it happens. That's how these crashes happen. They'll just stealth mode build. So keep an eye on it. But yeah, if we can break 2137, then we could be easily back up to 28. And like I said, at some point this downtrend line is going to break. This is going to break, and when it does, 40, and if 40 breaks, 83, and if 83 breaks, 128. So that's how it goes. And but it has to start somewhere, and it just doesn't go from 0 to 100 overnight. So it builds. It just kind of creeps up on you, and you before you know, you're like, wow, I'm at 22. Why am I 26? And that's kind of what I started noticing. Hit 20, kind of. So keep an eye on that. Yeah, we need to keep an eye on that. But I think it would be important to see 21.47 break higher. Um, the weekly has turned up. It's turned up on the stochastic. The monthly even is about. See the monthly. When was the last time the monthly turned up? June 21, January 20, before massive drops. So yeah, I mean the market is telling you there's some risk coming on the monthly and weekly time frame. So that's like summertime. That's the summertime, right? It's saying summertime. Whether the debt ceiling passes and there's some more euphoria, but it's saying that there's some dark times coming in this time period. Where I'm circling the chart, there's gonna be some dark times in the market coming in this area. That's what I'm seeing. Whether you think it should or not, I mean that's what the market cycles are telling me. Dark times are coming. Probably the Fed probably is gonna need to keep reading rates. I bet inflation will be hot. And and you're gonna get to talk. Is he, Arthur Burns? Is he gonna stop? And I don't know. And then it got the debt ceiling, and I heard that ended tonight with no deal. And then they still need time to pass the bill on the holiday, and so who knows? But this is bullish for the VIX because we're above that support area. See here where we're below it, but we're now back above it, so it's bullish. So the VIX is bullish and kind of a bullish breakout, and almost like a double bottom here. So that's my analysis of the VIX. So China, I wouldn't look at China until, like I say, so before like you think about buying China, my thinking is wait for the K-Web to come down to like this area, 22, 20, just 22 area, and I do think this seems like you see how it tagged that here and here. It just makes sense. It's going to tag 54 here, 54. It's just, and I've been saying that. I said that for a long time, but just seems like that's where we're headed for now. So we'll just wait and see what happens. But the K-Web needs to go lower, and the Hang Seng needs to go lower. XPV is breaking down. NEO's breaking down. So it's all, China's playing out like according to plan. Everything's according to plan. Yeah, there was some scalp trade. Like this was a scalp trade here, but I think you just gotta wait for the setup there, and the dollar really needs to peak on that to help that too. Zimmer broke the pivot low, so it's in a bearish situation. I can't buy it, even though I want to buy it. I'm not. My system won't allow me to buy it anymore. Perhaps the economy is not that good, coming up, which probably would make sense, right? I do have snow, but I've shown that before. Snow is needs more downside in a wave 5, and this played out like beautifully. This chart, I've shown it before. I felt like we were in some kind of consolidation 4, and it would break in 5 down to like $90, and that's what I think is happening. Yeah, $89. So yeah, so I think that's what's happening. The final move lower in snow is happening in a flat correction in an A, B, C. So I do like to buy it here if it comes down here, and that's why I have it in blue, because it's on my watch list for long-term investment holds. If it gets down here, because a lot of companies are using them, and it's kind of like a cash cow. But I do think it's overvalued though. It's overvalued and I guess the revenue had a miss or something on earnings, right? I thought I saw, or it was something was underwhelming. But this would be nice to get it down here. I think that's where it's going. All right, I got to end it here, guys. Just stay. My advice to you is don't let one stock or one trade or one thing influence your whole strategy. Stick to your system. Just stick to whatever system you use out there. Stick to it. There's always these outliers days, like Nvidia, but really I don't even think of it as an outlier because I'll end the day with Nvidia's chart, and again, I think it's just a big expanded flat, guys. You erase divergence. Um, Smart money, huge big time investors that are known to be buy and hold, were actually selling today into this. And it 403 is the target. We almost touched it. That's the expanded flat target is 403. So this is the target for the expanded flat right here. Is typically where those end. And then we could go lower. And imagine that. Wouldn't that be something? And you're like, well, we have fractals to prove that this happens in this stock. This stock trades this way, and you have to go back. And this is what some people were showing me on my feed, where you get these higher highs like here, a higher high, and then a lower low, or basically retest the low, right? June, the dot-com bubble burst in I think March. We made a new high in June, only to go lower later after the bubble burst. You see what I'm saying, guys? So this has a fractal notorious for this setup, guys. And that stocks love to trade in fractals. See, it's got a fractal. And then look, it even did it again. And look again, and Matt, look, it came up here, and it actually went, and it broke all those lows. So Nvidia is gonna really, really mess some people up. I think people are gonna really get wiped out trying to trade this monster. So you just got to be really patient and really wait for setups, because I think it has some violent moves coming. I mean, could you imagine if it does a similar fractal where you get this like a 1, 2. You get like a 3, 4, 5, like something like this, and then you get like a drop all the way back down to like something like 60. Like that, I mean, people will get this, like they'll be so confused, and I mean that's what happened in the 2000s with the stock. I mean that's why no one owns it. No one owned it anymore because they all got freaking blown out of it. And I remember this stock trading back then, and I thought it was a joke stock. Like it would just go all the way to zero. I was like, why the hell? What the hell's wrong with this thing? And it was just like it was just building. It was shaking out weak hands because I think, people, some people saw the future and was like, yeah, this is something we really need to get loaded up on. And now that I think they're unloading, that's my guess. They're unloading those people. But anyway, do what's best for you. And oh yeah, keep an eye on Wolf. This Wolf company's been really hot off this area, this buy area. Real nice, healthy. So keep an eye on Wolf. I think it's a semiconductor mid cap. We'll see what happens with this. I'm waiting for a better dip to get in it again, but it could. It really had a nice bounce out of this. So. Okay, guys, that's it. I got to